Ready?
Okay. Yes, this is Hannah with the Mini Wall Street Job Creation Initiative here with...
Hi, Richard Brown with Connected Training, Inc., Chevy Chase, Maryland. Hannah, you just asked, what's the implication of the job market or the impact of the job market of 3D printing?
Yes.
And what I see is the creation of the opportunity for people to create, to design, to invent objects, print the pieces that you can't buy on a 3D printer or have them printed, assemble the objects and offer them in marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and the various other, Walmart.com, whatever. There are now dozens of these. So you can take an idea like, I'd like to have a better coffee cup, and then create the pieces, test it until you like it, offer it, and if people order it, then you can move to the next level, small-scale injection molding, then you can move to larger-scale production and make money creating new things.
So basically making entrepreneurialism more affordable.
Right, and of course, every time you have an inventor like Tom creating something, or Lawrence, or Rita, then they have a team of other people like us who work together to put the pieces together. But this isn't so much about large scale. This is where people start in their basements. This is the startup kind of thing. Develop a market, and some of the people who are sending us work are kind of little people who decided to sell a holster to carry liquids in, or who wanted to do something different in a swimming pool, but they needed the parts. So that's where the 3D printers fit in. 3D printing makers make things that help entrepreneurs get started.
And that's what your company does?
Yeah, we're a service bureau, and we do that. And young people who are interested in this and can put together a 3D printer from a kit or buy one can actually get in the marketplace by going on Make XYZ or 3D Hub, one of those sites, and start getting work. So you can actually begin to make money and learn the process as we're doing.
Okay, and can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience in the 3D printing industry and your take on it?
Well, my name is Rita Kasmer, and I've been watching what my husband and his partners are doing in our basement with this printer. First of all, building it, which was amazing, just to kind of come up with it and build it, and then to improve it, to make it a better printer, to make it work better, and now we're moving to actually buying a better printer so that we can have a backup system. And people come to our house and say, you have a 3D printer, and they say, well, could you do this? Could you make one of these? And we have cute little objects that might be fun for kids, but now we're thinking, is there something that's really more useful? Someone needs a part for something. Someone needs a part for their car. Well, we don't want to make that out of plastic, but maybe there's just new materials that have carbon-based, and there's some that have metal in them that might be useful for repairing a car or a lawnmower or something. So I'm looking forward to see where it goes, because it's still kind of a mystery to me.
Okay, great. And can you please introduce yourself? And
yeah, I'm Tom Nicholson, and by the way, we're from just outside Washington, D.C. His business started probably about a year ago in his basement, and I came along to join them. And one of the biggest things, again, is what my stockbroker tells me. There's a Wall Street impact on this, and one of the areas is education. So, for instance, students, and this goes back to, I also volunteer with the local rescue squad. So examples for operations, making certain body parts and giving students a chance to practice on those body parts before the actual operation, giving a chance to do scenarios on those parts. So a 3D printer using a scanner can go in there and scan that particular part, that particular body organ, let's say. And also, if you have a delicate operation that you're going to perform, you want to get a chance to practice at it and do a couple of things before the actual operation. It gives you a chance to sort of do a trial and error thing instead of having to go in when the actual operation takes place and then risk tell you. I'm not a doctor, but this is just from what I've
It's opening up the educational opportunities
in
as well.
education, we picked up. We were on Capitol Hill last week at a 3D forum that they had down there, and a non-profit group actually is what we were down at, and but just the different emerging technologies, and as Richard was saying, so you have something you want to create, or you have something like a part that they're not making anymore, so you go in and you design it, and you make it up in the either Tinkercad or one of the graphics programs, and then you can tailor it and you can print it instead of having to worry about well, gee, can I search this part? Where am I going to find this part? No, you can tailor it yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself and what it is that you do and your take on the whole new job market and 3D printing?
Hi, my name is Lawrence Hawkins, and currently I work with a company outside of DC. We're doing 3D printing. In terms of looking at the future, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say that it's really something that the marketplace, or rather society, not just the marketplace, is really going to have to decide what it is they want to do. This entire conference is devoted to robotics. Obviously, there's a portion of 3D printing or additive manufacturing, to use a more market-specific term, which is dedicated towards 3D printing. But that said, some of what we see, or some of it what we would like to see, I think is really 50 years down the line. I think there's like a lot of things that need to be worked. I think that there's a lot of opportunities, though, like for people who are trying to find a career, or maybe they may be unemployed, maybe they were formerly in whatever career they were in and they want a new career. This is an opportunity to come back and retool. Learn the science, learn the math, learn the engineering, because technologies are going to come and go. Right?
As long as you know the basis of it, you're good.
If you know the basics, you should be able to navigate effectively. And I don't care, well, I mean, if you're in like most of the United States, you have a lot of community college opportunities, you have a lot of local learning opportunities where you can go and learn these tools and become proficient. And then you kind of grow with the industry. But long term, I really get worried, though, looking at what's going to happen to people who aren't technical, or whose livelihoods are going to be totally replaced by robotics and 3D printing and some of these other technologies.
That's a big reason why we're doing the event that we're doing in 2016, so that the next generation can be introduced to social media industrialism.
Right.
So how they can take their social media and actually utilize it for human services and monetize off of it, as opposed to just taking a whole lot of selfies. They can spend that same time and that same energy to provide services for business people and for each other that they can actually get paid for. And getting a certain amount of clients, they can make the same amount that they would just getting a 9-to-5 kind of job.
Well, and that's one way to look at it, certainly. But then there's the human aspect of it. One of the things that I really get concerned about is how do we as humans interface with other humans? We had a conference about an hour ago. They were talking about how robotics could be huge in terms of taking care of the elderly. Well, I don't know. I personally think that human beings interacting with other people, people interacting with their relatives, people interacting with the elderly, I think that there's something huge there that technology can't replace.
Yeah.
And I think we lose something by not connecting with other people. So, it's next 50 years will be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah.